I've been asked more than once by those of a cynical bent, why do you like living in Reading? I have a standard answer for that, and it is because in Reading, I can walk out of a first-rate symphony concert and be in a first-rate trout stream in 15 minutes. That's my idea of a good place to live. A few years ago, I went on a retreat with several other pastors with an interesting agenda. Yes, it was time away for fellowship and for prayer, but it was also to learn the art of fly fishing. We were up in the mountains where no one could get a cell phone signal, and part of the curriculum was target practice. Because the pastor who was leading the retreat said, I never go into the wilderness unarmed. Part of the beauty of Berks County is places to go walking. But is it safe to go walking in Nolde? On the Toon Trail? Would you go there alone or unarmed? Where is the safe place in the world today? Young woman who I had in my confirmation class many years ago is now the mother of a young girl who attends Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. And she's talked of the fear that the whole family has experienced since the events of last Friday. Where is the safe place? Or does it exist? What will happen in the next week? Will there be another mass shooting? We must deal with this as a nation, one way or another. Will our elected representatives really crash the economy? Will the world end on Friday? Where is the safe place? It's a question to be asked in the Advent season because so many of the prophecies address a people looking for a safe place and not finding it. People in darkness, people in the desert, people in the barren places of life where we wonder, is there a safe place? And where is the God who promises us a safe place? Isaiah speaks to fearful people in the lesson we hear this morning. And he says that things will change drastically. The desert will become a lush, blooming, damp place. If you've been to a desert, you understand just how strange a pronouncement that is. What is not what will be. The fear that we live in, God is addressing. Strengthen the weak hands, the feeble knees. Say to those of a fearful heart, here is your redemption. Perhaps a better interpretation or translation of the Hebrew is those whose hearts are racing. We've probably all experienced that at some point. When we find ourselves in a situation that is either fight or flee. Adrenaline courses through our bodies, the muscles tighten, the vision narrows, things seem to go into slow motion. When I sit down in a movie theater or walk through a school corridor, will the gunman step out? And then what will I do? What will my racing heart drive me to? To fight? To flee? Or perhaps also to be paralyzed, unable to act? But the prophet says, fear not. Your God is coming with recompense, with vengeance. Fear not. That message echoes throughout all the Scriptures. When the angel Gabriel comes to Mary, 14 or 15-year-old Mary, who will be stoned to death if she is found to be pregnant out of wedlock, and she is told, don't be afraid. Fear not. God is in this. And God is working out God's purposes. The message to the shepherds who experience something that they cannot comprehend is fear not. The message to disciples in a storm-tossed boat, fear not. The message to Mary Magdalene at the tomb, to the women who come bringing spices, looking for a dead body that is not there, fear not. God is working out His purposes. The word in Isaiah says God's vengeance is coming. I have read too many unhappy and unsatisfying explanations for God's role in Newtown, Connecticut. God was not there because He was not invited. The shooting was the fault of those who put prayer out of schools. It's a difficult question to wrestle with, and even more difficult to answer, but I, for one, do not believe in a God who can be trundled in and out of buildings like so much furniture. God is more powerful than that. God will respond. And God will respond through our announcement to each other. Don't be afraid. God is at work. You may remember that in the 70s, something called the Desiderata was quite popular. It was a list of proverbs that was allegedly found in a church in Philadelphia. Some of them stuck with me over the years. One of them was, whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. God is in charge, whether it is clear to us or not. In that we trust in a frightening and fearful world. Story is told of a Jewish family imprisoned in one of Hitler's concentration camps. Their daily ration was stale bread, water, and a tablespoon of fat. The father found a piece of string and molded the fat around the string to make a candle to light at evening prayers. His son upbraided him for such a wasteful act. We're starving, he said. We have so little to eat, and you take what little we have and waste it. The father replied, we can live for several days without food. We cannot live for one moment without hope. People of God, fear not. Calm your racing hearts. God is coming, and God will act. Amen.